Tonight on Hip on the Spot News. Get ready for Afghanistan and another map for DCS World. We got a quick review and special interviews from VIAF. The world map is in the works and new details are reported. And we get to see for the first time the CEO of ED. This and more on How I Play. This video is sponsored by Fox3 Managed Solutions. Hello virtual pilots, I'm Andre Celesti, and tonight we are going to talk about the latest news in DCS World. And here we are, another week in the month of November. But things are shaping up for the end of this year, with more news on future development and exciting announcements. We got the time to sit and watch the Heatblur interview and the CEO from Eagle Dynamics discussion at the Virtual International Air Festival. We prepared the most important info that was discussed there in a brief look, only here at How I Play. Now I strongly recommend to watch the entire show if interested in the full conversation. I link both videos for convenience in the video description. Heatblur shared their progress on choosing a module for development, building up a strong point that they are on both sides of the process, being part of the community that enjoys fly sims like DCS and also in charge of a talented team that is able to produce what they want to see out there. The most detailed, highly immersive and quality modules, built with passion and dedication. Their development progress is always pushed to the limit, as they are always full with new ideas that stretch the time allocated for a certain product. They mentioned that right now they are in the phase of finishing up what they started in development and complete the modules. Even though they always have new ideas, new things can always be added a bit later. And indeed, as we saw with the F-14 taking advantage of the new features coming with the F-4, Heatblur will continue to improve and expand the features even long after a module is out. They strongly support the idea that a module needs to stay alive and only new content and new ideas can do that. Plus, as time goes by, they recognize the importance of modernizing the product as the technology is getting advanced in simulations, and that's why, for example, they took a much more holistic approach since the F-4 Phantom II, where they developed technologies that can later be applied backwards to the F-14 and the Vulkan. Nice! Oh, and things like the scratchpad window drawing thingy, shaking effects, and character customization can be transferred very easy to other modules. Great news! The discussion then focused on the hardships that the team encountered when they started improving their tools and the codebase in general. This was done in order to be able to reuse everything in the future in a much faster way and thus improve development time. It seems that all the extra work has paid off. Now, when discussing time and how long it takes to make a module, we need to remember that Heatblur and every other third-party developer are not AAA studios with unlimited funding and time. We are talking about small to medium teams that focus on flight sim content, which, exactly like we discovered as a YouTube channel, it's a small niche, but a very strong one, that gets more and more attention every year. This is one of the subjects that has been repeated in the interview, even with the CEO from ED, but we will talk about it later in this video. Moving on, Heatblur also talks about their component system, giving an example that with the previous modules like the Vulkan, things were as simple as turning a system on or off in two states, comparing it to a desk lamp, for example. But now, with the Phantom and the component system, they took a different approach and looked at the wiring diagrams, and they modeled the systems with electrical properties. This time, the lamp won't just be on or off, but the brightness will be determined by the voltage coming through it, and this is modeled and simulated. So electricity that gets transferred to the lamp at the end will then determine the level of brightness. And based on that, you naturally get different effects, like let's say you have a voltage spike in your system, or something is broken and then your lamp will flicker. Now imagine that all of this is translated to other systems like hydraulics, flaps, and flight surfaces. And take into account the mass-based physics, like with the landing gear, if broken, there is a way to release it by using gravity. Something that wasn't possible before now, but with the mass physics being modeled, it will be. The discussion went along and Easter eggs were mentioned. Of course, they will add some for the F4E Phantom too, but funny enough, it seems that we didn't find yet all the Easter eggs in the F-14 Tomcat. I can only imagine. The famous Grey Wolf was there as well, the voice of Jester, and he described how the F4 Phantom feels when flying it in DCS. You will certainly feel the differences with such a small vertical stabilizer compared with the ones that we have on the Tomcat. We should expect a bit more rudder work, and again he mentioned that we will be able to feel the hydraulics work on all control surfaces, and it's a real joy to fly, especially for the users who can fly the Vulkan and Tomcat well. They will be at home in the F4. So that was a short and brief look at Heatblur's interview at the event. But as I said before, I strongly advise, if interested, to take a look at the full length. But now let's move on with the main course. And this is the interview with the CEO of Eagle Dynamics, none other than Nick Grey, talking about the future of DCS world and announcing some interesting and exciting things. I hope you are ready, as the biggest announcement was about the next map that will be developed for the sim, and we can expect to see it in the upcoming Beyond video very soon. They kind of teased it before with the sneaky coordinates, but now it's confirmed that the next map for DCS World will be...
Commander, sorry for bothering. Can I please say it myself?
Alright, Petrovich, go ahead.
Okay. The next map for DCS World will be Afghanistan.
Yes, that's right. Get your A-10s ready, your Apaches, later on the Chinook and the C-130s, as we are going to Afghanistan. But wait, that's not all. Another map that will be developed in the future is one that will complete the region. And when we hear that, we need to take a look at the current maps we have. The Syria and Sinai map, the Persian Gulf map, and now from Afghanistan to the left, crossing the south part of Iran that we already have in the Persian Gulf, we can expect that the hinted map to complete the region will be none other than Iraq. And there you have it. Let me know if you agree as well. Then, speaking of maps and regions, there was some talk about the world map. So Nick Grey mentioned that they are working on this world map for the last 3 years. And as expected, it will take a bit longer until we can see the fruits of their labor. Nonetheless, we got more detail on what to expect. They are working on automation, as you would imagine that they can't just sit down and place everything in high detail by hand. Of course, the comparison to Microsoft Flight Simulator was mentioned, but ED doesn't have the hundreds of millions to invest in a product like this as Microsoft did with Asobo. It will take time, and hopefully we will get more details bit by bit as they advance with development, as they are required to remake everything for this spherical map of the world. Next year we should expect MT for servers, Vulkan API, and much more. This was a great interview, and we are looking forward for that 2024 and beyond video once it's out. Meanwhile, we should expect that December patch anytime now, if it's not already out by the time we publish this video. As always, make sure to subscribe to keep in touch with all the latest happenings in DCS world, as we will continue to cover the news as it happens. Next week, our F4 Phantom giveaway will be over. Once again, as a reminder for those of you who are new here today, in order to participate to the F4E Phantom giveaway, all you need to do is to be subscribed to our channel, comment on all of our videos from now on, and you will get the chance to win 2 F4 Phantoms for you and your favorite Rio out there. More information about this event in the video description. A small note here, after that I will be away in Finland for the winter holidays, but don't worry, as I will strive to report everything from a warm and cozy environment over there with Natasha. I prepare some interesting shows for you, but I won't spoil the surprises, so keep your eyes peeled for our notifications here on YouTube, Twitter and Discord. Many thanks to all of our Patreons that support our channel. Very soon we will open the testing environment on our Hip Games Dynamic Mission server for all of you to join. More information on our Patreon page. Remember to check our sponsor VR Rock for your VR blue light protection and prescription lenses, and Fox3 Managed Solutions for the best DCS servers out there. And subscribe to keep in touch with all the latest news on your favorite simulators and games. I am Andre Celesti, reminding you to fly safe, and I'll see you next time.